Welcome everyone. This is actually the first Proxima build that I'm putting up on the channel, so there is a lot that I would like to cover here, but this video is going to be specifically about the dual loop side panel. By the way, we do have a Category 2 cyclone going on outside here at the moment, so you're probably going to hear a lot of background noise and the microphone is not going to sound very good, and I might lose power at any moment. So a lot of people have been asking about the dual loop side panel. They just want to see it on a build. And that is understandable because people are thinking, how do you get your hands in to build a system which has distribution plates on 4 sides? So this is a Proxima Elite, so it comes with top and front distribution plates as well as the main integrated distribution plate, which is what Spectre is famous for. We were the first to integrate a distribution plate as the rear wall of the case. And the dual loop side panel is kind of like the main distribution plate again, but on the other side, partially mirrored. So as you can see, there are 2 D5s here. There is also a completely separate second reservoir in the dual loop side panel, so it's an integrated pump res combo. But the parts of it that are different are because it is designed for the GPU loop. So once you install the dual loop side panel, you end up using the main distribution plate for the CPU loop and the dual loop side panel for the GPU loop. At least that is the way we designed the layout. You can really tube it up however you want. You can do a single loop or dual loops or parallel or anything. So you can see we have an outlet from the dual loop side panel, which comes up directly from the D5 pump. It goes across to the GPU. Then it goes back into the dual loop side panel on the left. And then it goes to and from the top radiator and or top radiator and distribution plate, if you have a top distribution plate. But yeah, there's basically just the inlet here from the GPU and then another out and in here. So it's actually quite a simple route and layout for the dual loop side panel. It then just goes straight back into the reservoir. So I think the main question that people have is, how do you get your hands in to build it? Well, what I suggest, which is what I do, I keep the dual loop side panel off for as long as I can. So I build the CPU loop, install all of the cables, then I install the dual loop side panel, then I build the GPU loop because the dual loop side panel has a nice big window that you can remove. You can actually build the whole system with the dual loop side panel on, almost, because there is a surprising amount of space to get your hands in. I really haven't found it to be an issue. Now, the one place that I see customers getting tripped up a little bit, but this goes for any water-cooled build, is fittings selection. And that is because fittings are the most difficult water cooling component to select. There is so much variety, and you really have to have a lot of knowledge to be able to look at a case. Just think about, imagine the components that are going to be going in there, and then think about what fittings you actually need. I think I'm going to make a video soon on this, like a detailed video on fitting selection. I'm going to go over all of the different brands and try to create an actual bit of a formula for fitting selection that anyone can use, because every build is completely different. There's no exact science. Like, you always have to buy a little extra, but I think there are some basic formulas that could be used for selecting fittings.